It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by AgileDad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. Many people say the third time's a charm. We're going to give this a third try. I really sincerely believe that some of the tools on Spotify for podcasters are a little bit hokey. So I put together a list. I said these are the top 10 ways to be respected as a product manager. So I put together a top 10 list, and I felt like the first two times I recorded, it came out pretty amazing. So we're going to give it one more shot and see if we can do it. Let's start with number 10. Number 10, the best way to get respected as a project manager, best way to earn respect as a product manager is to be a great product manager. I know it sounds silly, but I wanted to start with this one because, yeah, you could deliver a great backlog. You can meet product goals. You'll likely even be promoted very quickly. But will the team feel great about their work? Are you doing all you can to help the team really engage, get excited, and feel good about all the work they're doing? Do they feel empowered? Do they feel energized? Do they feel like they're making a difference? Do they feel like the product or service is creating an outcome that they are energized and excited about? We need to make sure that when we're trying to be a great product manager, that we're doing everything we can to help the team in their quest for success and helping them to really deliver the best product or service based on the needs. Okay, let's roll to number 9. Number 9, if you're trying to be respected as a project manager, you need to make sure you're sharing your credit. Now, one of the things a product manager does all the time is they introduce or share with stakeholders. They often find themselves presenting. And if you're in presentation mode, you need to start getting used to using the we narration. Um, this is a team effort. And I think that I've been to way too many demos and other things where I've heard, I'm here. I'm so excited to tell you about the product that I thought of and I created because I feel like my product is the best thing that I could do. And I feel and I know oh my goodness. If I get one more thing caught in my eye, I think I'll go nuts. There's not a we in sight. Not even Nintendo can enter a we into this conversation. That was a terrible joke that I did say 3 times. But I think that if you're trying to get to the we, you need to get rid of the I. And sharing the credit is the best way to do that. Let's go to number 8. Acknowledge your mistakes. Now, this one's interesting. Not only is it okay to make mistakes, it's even better if you apologize for them. I think that you need to learn how you can leverage mistakes to your favor so that mistakes are a good thing. And as long as you're learning from those mistakes, I don't see a problem with having mistakes at all. I think the thing that's not cool is when you try to avoid the topic or blame others or try to cast blame. If you could say, you know what, I didn't get this right. I need to take ownership. I need to own it. And I think that's the key. There are too many people out there who make a mistake and try to pawn it off instead of owning a mistake. If you can own a mistake, that is such a level of maturity. And I think that that speaks volumes to all those people around you. So not only acknowledge your mistake, but own your mistake. And I think that if you own a mistake and show others, hey, that it is a safe space and that even I make mistakes, it will help others grow, both personally and professionally. Okay, let's go to number 7. Number 7 is be proactive. Never just do what you're told. It's your opportunity to surprise your team and your managers with new ideas and initiatives and innovations. Um, you shouldn't get discouraged if everything you try doesn't happen in the end. But it's one of those things where if I ever have a choice between being proactive and being reactive, I'm always going to try the best I can to be proactive. Now, I want to be careful because I'm not telling you take things into your own hands and go off the reservation. What I'm telling you is figure out the level of tolerance that's there and push to that goal. And make sure that when you do deliver things that people feel confident what you deliver, that they know you're proactively seeking better choices and better solutions, and that you're always looking for new and innovative ways to solve problems. Those are the things that are going to help you be successful. All right, let's go to number 6. Number 6 is be confident, but don't be a jerk. I love this one. So it's one of those things where there's a difference between being confident and being cocky. If you use data and research to be a data driven outcome and you're confident in your statement, then okay, you're confident. But if you are using data, research, and social media sentiment just to grate on someone's nerves and break somebody down, then you're being a jerk. So I think that if you're just trying to get your way by either expressing your opinion or by manipulating data to read a certain way so you can get what you want done, then you're not living in the spirit of what confidence really is. So I'm all about being confident, even borderline conceited. But I don't want, constitution and confidence are important to me, but I just don't want someone to deal with or to be part of or party to uh, being a jerk about it. If you're bullying and being a jerk, then you're doing it the wrong way, right? Okay, let's go to number 5. Number 5 has to do with being the presentation. So let me explain what I mean by that. As a product manager, you're going to present a lot to stakeholders, to leaders, to others. You're just going to do it. If you're going to do it a lot, be great at it. I'm not saying you have to have perfect slides or that you have to be perfectly entertaining. But I think that if you are understandable in the end, and the concept of some entertainment does come into play, that people are going to enjoy that a lot more and are going to want more of whatever product or service you're offering. So I think that you need to uh, make sure to follow up on initiatives that will help you really gain your footing when presenting. Whether it's attending one of our coaching clinics or talking to one of our trainers, there's lots of ways that you can get tips and tricks on how to be better at actually doing the presentation and being part of the presentation. Okay, let's go to number 4. Number 4 has to do with moderating the conversation. So whether it's your meeting or not, make sure the room is focused on achieving the meeting goal. If not, there needs to be someone in the room brave enough to redirect the conversation and get it right back on track. I think that person's you, right? You need to not be afraid to do that. You need to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be that person. So I'm gonna be the person that if I really feel like it's going off the rails, I'm off the track. Then we need to go back in and we need to make those pivots and make those adjustments. But it would shock you to see how many times I see a conversation go for an hour or more where everyone in the room feels like, oh, I wish someone would please stop this. But nobody will because they don't have the courage to stand up and do so. So I guess what I'm trying to say is make sure you have the authority to do it, but also make sure you have the courage to do it. Because I think that it's important for someone to step in and be that moderator so that we can keep the creative juices flowing and so that we keep moving in the right direction. Okay, let's go to number 3. Number 3 has to do with keeping your cool, not getting upset. So when you can stay calm in stressful situations and modest in moments of success, these are all going to improve how you're perceived by your teammates. Um, it's not about being a person who has no emotions. I don't want you to be Bill Nye. I don't want you to drag this on and be somebody who's completely emotionless. You know the person. It's not like Eeyore, right? That person. I want you to really get in there and say, okay, um, it's not about not having emotions. It's more about having your emotions in check and understanding what you should be doing and not saying anything that you might regret later. Making sure that you're studying what you're saying and that you're putting together a path that's going to help you not regret your future statements or previous statements. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is being part of the development team and not always their manager. I know that sounds interesting, but it's one of those things where sometimes you need to be a parent and sometimes you need to be your children's best friend. And you don't always want to be the best friend and you don't always want to be the commander in chief. You need a balance of both of those. If you can't engage with your kids in such a way that's social and responsible and really entertain and be someone who's there for them, to help uplift them and support them, and you're always just there as a parent who, this is the next thing you need to do, so prepare to do it, that's hurtful. So you need to make sure that you're part of the team, whether it's a team at home, a team at work. You need to engage, but it doesn't mean that you have to throw the towel in and say, I'm not going to be a leader. You still need to be an effective leader. And I think that if you told people, hey, we're trying to, just because I have different skill set than you do, doesn't mean that I can't work right by your side. Our goal is to help participate so that the quality of what you're doing can improve, and the outcome of what you're doing can improve. That's the goal. Okay, let's do it. Here we are. We made it to the top. Number 1, do not say yes or no to any requests too hastily. Now, many people were shocked when I said yes. Why do not say yes? Because if you're saying yes to something very quickly, that means that you're saying no to something else. So I'm going to say it one more time. If you're saying yes to something very quickly, that means instantly you're saying no to something else. So it's one of those things where I think a lot of people don't realize, but if you say yes, I'm going to do A, that means that B, C, or D are probably not going to get done, even if B, C, and D were part of the original plan, right? So it's one of those things where if you say no too quickly, then people are like, oh, wow, you give my idea a chance. But if you say yes too quickly, then people are like, oh, wow, that means we're saying no to something else. Or, oh, wow, that was fast. What brought on that rash decision? So I think it's important for you to understand the concept of having balance and important for you to understand the concept of figuring out how to time your yes and no. So if you have a mutual understanding in a current roadmap in a situation and it impacted a request, you should be eager to say yes or no. You should be excited and you should be energized and you should have a clear path to say the right answer. But sometimes that requires a little bit of research on what's being said. Sometimes that requires just a little bit of follow up. So, what I'm trying to say is don't be hasty with saying your yes or no. Sometimes it does require an immediate decision. In those cases, then use your best judgment. But overall, I think that most cases, 80% plus, you have a little bit of time to evaluate and to ask yourself, where did this request come from? Why is it important? Does it really apply? And what can I do to support the nature of this request if it is something important? And I think that if you do those things, it's going to help you really be the best, most respected product manager. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.